What a year it's been. To some, 2017 meant the end of PC America, while to others, the thought police have become more reckless than a Missouri cop on steroids. The year of the knee, I suppose. Either taking one or both, the knee began and ended careers in 2017. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. He, as well as number 45, have most definitely helped us shine a light on America's bipolar stance on equality and civil rights. DJ Trump's attack on everything Obama, yes, he's almost undone everything President Obama didn't do for black people. Gucci, watch out, he might get locked up next. Trump was truly unprecedented. But you must understand, he only ran for office because of his hate for Obama. Yes, one rich white guy's hatred for one half black guy had nothing to do with white supremacy. Not really, not for DJ Trump. This is the moment that Donald Trump decided to run for office. Right there. You can see the steam coming from his head. Anyway, you have to accept it. Donald Trump is the president. Say it with me, President Trump, DJ 45. And ironically, just like 50 Cent and Nicki Minaj, DJ 45 is from Jamaica, Queens. Y'all forgot DJ Trump was the Queens nigga. See, it would be far-fetched, but look, this is some Queens nigga shit. Well, anyway, Trump turned the White House into an episode of The Apprentice. He fired damn near everybody in his inner circle and finishes the year off getting rid of who? Omarosa, after her 14th season on the show. As a matter of fact, Trump's presidency may be the first reality show to be aired on every major network simultaneously. Speaking of television, Hollywood's Casting Couch Creep Squad took a big hit. I call it Cosby's Revenge. Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, director Bryan Singer, Louis C.K., Africa Bambaataa, Russell Simmons, all of them were accused of sexual misconduct, some with children. But hey, with these type of celebrity endorsements, perhaps agrosexuality will become the next sexual orientation added to the running train of letters. I don't know. Fuck it. Oh, and speaking of sexual orientations, don't drink with Diddy, as Fabulous, who spent his birthday with the hip-hop mega mogul, which was interesting to say the least. But I guess Diddy and Nori learned a valuable lesson about checking the guest list and checking it twice. The Kanika Jenkins mystery went viral, and Airbnb stock went through the roof. There is one thing that we've definitely learned from this tragedy. If you want to kill someone, do it in Chicago. Kanika Jenkins also marked our biggest episode thus far. But we're not reporting on this anymore. This shit is more convoluted than Tupac's murder. Just want to say one more time. Ladies, no more hotel parties for 2018 and beyond. If there was an award that we could give, what would we call it? If there was a no bullshit award, it would go to Jersey City's own Joe Buttons. Can we get a round of applause? Not only did Joe Buttons create one of the most iconic hip-hop shows, he did it in a year's time. With the help of DJ Academics and Deska, they created some of the most entertaining hip-hop content I've seen in a very long time. And then, when Complex didn't show love, when they refused to break bread with the man behind the success, what did Joe Buttons do? He walked off the show taking a shit ton of subscribers with him, and then started his own shit elsewhere. Round of applause for Joe Buttons. Let's keep that round of applause going for Cardi B. Mona Scott's like the fucking hip hop fairy godmother. Cardi B's come up is like, I don't know, like the people from the Hunger Games, that episode of Black Mirror where with the dude from Get Out. It's crazy, but Cardi B needs to write a testimonial to Love and Hip Hop and its transformative powers. She had the last 3 top hits in 2017. She got engaged to the king of the mumblers, and not to mention, had the most uninteresting PG-13 sex tape in the history of sex tapes. It was a hell of a year. Let's not forget, R. Kelly starred a sex cult. Usher was accused of giving a herpes to a whale. And Bobby V. But in Bobby V's defense, some of you may not know that the trickster that allegedly tricked Bobby V, or maybe he knew or maybe he didn't know, was also on Steve Irwin's talk show. For what? Not telling some nigga that she was a dude. I'm just saying, maybe Bobby V was telling the truth. 2017 was a very interesting year. But I'm going to spend the last few minutes talking about the conscious community. Because the conscious community had a hell of a 2017 as well. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, is it a scammer's dream? A megalith of group unthinking? In the midst of Charlottesville, countless police shootings, and an army of white supremacists ascending on the Capitol like the spaceships in Independence Day, the conscious community set their sights on black men too. Both Tommy Sotomayor and Hassan Poppy Campbell seem to be targets of a JFK-level assassination plot. Well, maybe Ronald Reagan level. Guess I better watch out. Then there's Umar Johnson, doctor, holding a doctorate in clinical psychology. Let's not get that confused, because most of you did. But hey, you know, there's a lot of doctors that can't help you if you're sick. Thousands. But they can tell you why you're sick. The state just doesn't allow them to practice medicine. And psychiatry is a medical profession. But you didn't need him to prescribe you medicine. You needed him to talk good to you. And you needed him to be able to validate what he said with some type of professional expertise, because that's what you need. The truth is not good enough for Americans, really, but you know, for the most part, we represent a mentality very similar to poor white trash, white supremacists that we say are the problem in America. We need someone to validate us. Don't we? Well, because of that need for validation, when the good doctor didn't say what everybody liked to hear, and he took some hard stances about homosexuality, and took some stances about interracial dating that rubbed people the wrong way, then his credentials came under question. That was the problem. Everybody loved his talk of what black people needed to do when it was about all black people. When Dr. Umar Johnson took the more conservative, I guess, stance against a brother like Irritated Genie from Washington, D.C., and what his stance about homosexuality was versus what Dr. Umar's stance on homosexuality was, everyone loved Dr. Umar Johnson. When Dr. Umar Johnson really started talking that shit and it started drawing a line between the black bourgeoisie, this is when his credentials came under question, because working class people really don't give a fuck. Not really. You understand that the people who were able to mobilize the working class black people didn't have education. But moving along. After Umar's appearance on, what's the fat guy's name? The guy that looks like the penguin of, I don't know. Anyway, Roland Martin, there you go. After his appearance on Roland Martin's show, people started calling, but that's what Dr. Umar asked them to do. Call. Check to make sure that I have these white people's credentials. And then he began to get on national TV and start espousing all kind of what would appear to be racist views. See, this is the problem with this line of thought. And let's not get it twisted, because the elders keep on saying that, oh, the brothers don't need to be fighting. To any elder that says that, I'm going to question your recollection of what happened in the 70s, what happened in the 60s, and what happened in the 50s and beyond. And we can trace the arguments all the way back to W.E.B. Du Bois. But we'll get back to that whole connection. Here's the problem. He said something you don't like, and now we question his credentials. He acts really weird about it, instead of just saying, I went here. Everybody else says that. But again, Umar, it's not exactly the message. It's not exactly the message. It's the fact that you waver from that message in your real life. Yet you're not just saying your personality. See, you could be cool if you go on Fox 5, go home, you can get the money on Fox 5. If they pay you money, who knows? I don't know. You can go there and you can get whatever they give you, and you can edge your life out for yourself like that. But see, the problem is that, Umar, you're trying to present yourself as if you're the real deal. And you got to be the real deal if that's what you're going to do. Because black people had a lot of disappointments, and they seen the real leaders die. At least one of them. And your outbursts, your erratic behavior, your egocentric nature. See, all of those things make Dr. Umar Johnson able to be compromised. Remember what happened to the late Marion Barry. But anyway, Dr. Umar Johnson takes to Instagram the last week of the year, family, on Kwanzaa. And this whole attack on his credentials, which turned out to be bogus anyway. So everybody does a video. Boyce Watkins does a video, Tariq Nasheed does a video, Side Nutter do a video, Young Phil do a video, and Umar feels some kind of way. Because Umar feel like he's beyond reproach. Umar feels like, and he said this, hands off the doctor. And you gotta understand, man, if that was ever the case anywhere, you're still campaigning for that spot, and you're not doing a good job. And I'll tell you why. Because of your potential to be compromised. Your potential to be compromised, brother. That's what your problem is. You got too much messiness about you. And if there were really elders behind you, that were doing more than trying to self-gratify themselves in the struggle. Because that's all who's left, for the most part, man. The real ones left it alone. So anybody that's old enough to be, I'm not gonna go there. But you're too messy, man. And you're trying to build you. You're trying to build yourself. See, it's ironic that we have this Marcus Garvey University. Marcus Garvey Frederick Douglass University. Frederick Douglass, to tie back to the first Pan-African that I connect myself to. And Marcus Garvey, the person I get my personality from. And here's the problem. You've accepted Marcus Garvey's strengths, but you've also accepted his weaknesses. Marcus Garvey's first speech, he fell flat on his face. And there was no black star line. His idea remained. People bought his book. But at the end of it, the only thing he did for black people was give them a false sense of pride. See, you can inspire people with the truth, but if you don't inspire people to live the truth, because you said you're only human. That's what you always fall back on when the thoughts get at you, right? When you get the Haagen-Dazs, right? Because you're trying to become an icon. And you understand what it takes to be an icon. But you're not willing to live up to it, so you want to change what an icon is. You want to change how you'll be remembered. And that may have worked in 1968, but it doesn't work in 2018. And it didn't work in 2017. People are always going to question you, especially if you're messy. And you set yourself up to be the leader. But in reality, Umar Johnson is Jermaine Shoemaker's costume. And when you disturb the game, he lashes out. Now let's talk about the code of silence, which all black people are supposed to close ranks and protect the self-appointed leaders when they sip too much from the coat of public attention. What have they done? The same thing a pimp does. Install a false sense of self-esteem, make big promises, and give them measured victory. In reality, between Tariq and Umar cannot win. Why? Because Tariq Nasheed does not present himself as a leader. He promised nothing. He gave you a documentary, and he delivered on it. On the other side, Umar, who refers to himself as the Prince of Pan-Africanism, who's not disciplined, who's not refined. And this is what you want to build yourself on. You want to make yourself the people's champ, but you're not one with the people. You pimping the people. And you promise them a school, and every time you speak, you talk about what the school is going to be, and that's the rallying cry for people. And when you don't create it, because here's the thing, there's a lot of things you could be showing to people. If you wanted to dispel all of this, you could have been transparent. And now you're at this point where you create this wall of silence because of white supremacy that really you gravitate yourself toward. This nigga like James Dean. He want to be the fallen hero. That's what he wants. He wants the attention. He wants a statue. Those can't be the leaders you move into the future with. The leaders that you move into the future with have got to be willing to work with other people. They can't be trying to create another aristocracy while they're speaking socialist politics. How can you be a socialist when Pan-Africanism is tied into socialism? Yet you refer to yourself as a prince. Yet you keep on trying to connect yourself to some Pan-African royal line. We're there in 2020. Y'all don't see the faking doesn't exist. If you're a piece of shit, it's gonna come out. Just admit it. I did. Gotta be real in 2020. It's only 2 years left. And with that, stay woke. I bid you adieu. Oh, happy fiscal new year.
Hola.